My friends, I have something here that I think you all will find very interesting. This is a one-person tent from Nature Hike. As you can see here, rather small form factor, small size. This weighs about 3.3 pounds, so it's rather lightweight. Not ultra light, but light enough. This is an instant pop-up tent. That's right, folks. A very small framed, lightweight, instant pop-up tent. Most of the time when it comes to tents like this, their form factors are rather large. Their weight is rather high, but that's not the case here with this tent. This is the first look at the Canyon one-person tent before my testing begins. Let's start off by doing a component breakdown. So what you have here is the storage bag. You have a grab handle up at the top. This is a burrito style storage bag. Draw pull closure. It does have a protective flap that goes on the inside. We have the tent. We have some setup instructions. On the inside of the storage bag, there's also a pouch here. And inside of this pouch, we have 7 tent stakes. Additionally, we have a 2022 Nature Hike Make the Outdoors a Way of Life brochure. I'm not exactly sure what this is. Most of it's in Chinese. It does include some stickers though. And then we have the tent. It has a compression strap that goes around it. And this is what I'm interested in. I am interested to set this up to see just how easy, just how quick it is. So folks, let's go ahead and do that. Let's start off here by taking a look at the instruction to see what it says. Take the tent out, unfold it, pull the rope on both sides separately to make the tent self-supporting. Let's see how this unfolds. What impresses me right off the bat here is that it's so lightweight. It's so small, so compact. The dark brown side is the floor, the lighter brown is the top, and then right here should be the hub. Super simple. Here's the other side. Wow, that is actually incredibly impressive. I mean, very, very impressive. And so as soon as you pop this out, right, you set this up, the vents on both sides are opened. There's really no way to close those based upon my observations at the moment. But all you would have to do is basically stake this out, stake out the doors, and it's set up. Let's come back over to one of these hubs here and let's see how easy it is to basically break this down. That is insanely smart, insanely smart. You can see here that you have like this rubberized bell-shaped pull. Here is the hub. You have a cord that goes through that hub. Basically, you pull it until the pull system comes through the hole here and it locks into place. Without a doubt, this is the easiest pop-up system that I've seen. To break it down, you have a small little push here. Basically, it's what's holding this into place. You push it in and it breaks down just like that. That's a little weird. Actually, that's a little weird. Very strange, actually. Here in a second, everyone, I'll tell you all what I'm talking about. I am going to go ahead and stake this out real quick because I want to get like the tautest pitch possible. What makes this so strange, folks, is the fact that this tent has a number of guy lines, but every single one of these are attached at the bottom of the tent. At the bottom, not the top. So these stakeout points are super long. As you can see, they are adjustable and they're bizarre. Absolutely bizarre. Having adjustable stakeout points is a great feature, but I've never seen them being 2 feet long. I'll tell you what, since we have it set up, let's go over the features of this tent, starting with the outside. The tent has one door, and there is a storm flap over the zipper. The storm flap is held into place via Velcro, and the zippers have glow-in-the-dark zipper pulls. Each part of the door panel can be staked out. The tent features 2 vents, one on each side. Here is the other side of the tent, and you can see how it's staked out. Unfortunately, when it comes to the front and the back of the tent, there's no way to pull the wall out, the fly out. So basically, it lays up against the body. There are no upper body guy line points. All of the guy line points, according to the company, are down around the bottom of the tent. We do have 2 fabric loops, so we can roll back the doors and tie those back. And folks, as far as the outside of the tent goes, that's it. Now let's go to the inside. We're now looking at the front of the tent, and you can see the inner. So what we have here is partial mesh, partial fabric bathtub floor. We have 2 zippers. Both have glow-in-the-dark pools. The entrance can be rolled back and tied off. There's the bathtub floor. You can see the fabric above it, and you can see the mesh above it. We have a pocket up here in the corner, and that is the only pocket inside of the tent. We have 1 hook up at the top. There's vent number 1. Here we have vent number 2. And looking at the top of the tent, most of this is fabric. So you have a little bit of mesh right there, fabric, 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 and that extends across the top and over to the other side. Let's hop inside of this here real quick, just to see what it's like. Here in a minute, we'll grab the tape measure and measure it. For myself, it's tall enough, but as far as width goes, this is extremely narrow. I have broad shoulders, and inside of this, one shoulder would touch one wall, the other shoulder would touch the other wall. So for larger individuals, this tent is out. And here in a minute, like I said, we'll go over the dimensions. Because there's so much fabric here, it limits airflow. Right now we have a breeze coming from the east. It's hitting this side of the tent. But yet, because there's so much fabric, I'm not really feeling it. I could feel it just a little because there's some mesh here. But down below, where my body is, the majority of my body, I'm not feeling it. Because of that, folks, this is a tent that I would not recommend for warm conditions. I can tell you already without testing it out that it would simply be too hot. I've set this tent up in the shade. It's about 72 degrees right now. It's breezy, but yet inside of this tent, even with this door open, I'm warm. I'm really warm. I'll tell you what, folks, let's take a second here and let's go over some stats concerning this tent. When it comes to this tent, the Canyon, there's a 1-person and a 2-person version. The 1-person version features 1 door. The 2-person version features 2 doors. Included with the 1-person version, you have the storage bag, 7 tent stakes, the tent body, and the poles, which is all interconnected. You have 7 extra long stakeout point cords. As it stands, this tent has no guy lines at all. You could add some, I believe, but you would have to use points that the company did not actually intend for you to do so. When it comes to the materials for the 1-person version, you're looking at a silicone-treated 20 denier nylon. That's a ripstop. That's for the fly. The tent features a 70 denier nylon for the floor. When it comes to the 2-person version, the materials are completely different. You have a 210T ripstop polyester, that's the fly, and you have a 190T polyester floor. Both of these tents feature fiberglass poles, aluminum stakes. The waterproof rating for both tents is 2,000 millimeters. When it comes to the stored dimensions, the 1-person tent is 18 inches by 6 inches. The 2-person version is 23.5 inches by 8 inches. The weight of the 1-person version is not bad, 3.3 pounds. The weight of the 2-person version is actually quite heavy. It weighs 7.2 pounds. Now, my friends, let's measure this tent. We will start with width first. So we're looking at roughly 24 inches, about 76 inches. For the maximum amount of comfort, I would recommend being at 6 foot. The peak height here is right at 37 inches. Other points to mention are as follows. All of the seams have been taped on this tent, and also when it comes to the Canyon series of tents, they were designed to be used on the ground or on a cot. Before I talk about price, let's talk about the availability of these tents. This is something that I would like for Nature Hike to work on. The company has so many products and they're scattered out all over the internet. So you could find like one product at this site, another version over here at this site. They really do need to consolidate all of these products into one source. So check this out as far as the pricing goes. When it comes to the 1-person version of the tent, it is not available on Amazon. It's not available on their website, but you can find it on the AliExpress website for $155. The 2-person version of this tent is available on Amazon. You're looking at $160. It's also available on their website for $190. Over the years, I've tested out quite a few Nature Hike products, and I've seen this really scattered level of availability when it comes to these products, and it just happens randomly. You really can't predict it. One day there may be a tent available on their website, the next day it's gone. That tent may be available at Amazon, or maybe not there. Maybe it's at Walmart, or maybe it's at AliExpress. It's very confusing and it's very hard to track. And this is something, again, that I'd like to see the company work on. With that out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about my impressions of this tent so far. So far, I have to say that the setup process of this tent is unbelievable. As far as the instant setup tents go, this is the absolute best system that I've ever seen. This beats every implementation of it that I've seen. The version that Teton Sports uses, forget about it. That same system is available in a number of tents from a number of companies. This one I personally have not seen before, but I really like it. This is one of those tents where it sets up in literally, I don't know, 10 seconds, 15 seconds. All you have to do is take it out of the storage bag, separate it, lock, stake it out, you're done. As far as the tent goes itself, I like where the company was going with this product, but I feel like they stopped short. The fact that this is a 3-season tent, this is a summer tent, the inner leaves a lot to be desired. The fact that they went with fabric instead of mesh for the entire tent, with the exception of the bathtub floor, that means that they've really limited the use of this product. Because the simple fact is, it's going to be hot. It's going to hold in heat. There's not enough mesh here to offer adequate ventilation. Like in the middle of summertime, it's hot outside, it's a hot night. You're not going to be able to vent all of the heat that your body's releasing. At the same time, you're not going to be able to bring in as much cool air because you have that fabric material. That fabric blocks the breeze, it holds in heat, and I really wish they didn't do this. The reason why the company put the fabric material in there is to lower the cost. You wouldn't think it, but this is the case. Mesh is more expensive than that fabric. So once you factor in the fiberglass pole system, the nylon materials, they had to lower the cost somewhere. And they did that by putting in this fabric. But in the end, they've limited the use of this tent. Right now in the middle of spring, this is not going to perform too badly at nighttime. But during the hottest part of the summer, this is not a tent that you're going to want to use. You're going to want a tent that offers as much ventilation, as much airflow as possible. And unfortunately, that is not what this tent does. Another con for this tent is the fact there's no guy line points, right? So in windy situations, up here at the top of this tent, check this out. There's nothing to hold this tent down. You would have to have the front door staked out, and that would offer some support. But yet, the top of the tent, there's nothing to hold this. In my opinion, it's a huge oversight though. If you had some guy line points up at the top, you can stake it out, you can anchor this tent, and this tent would not be able to do this. The guy lines at the bottom of the tent, that's really strange. I've never seen that before. Having adjustable stakeout points, that's a good thing. But there's no reason to have stakeout points that are like 2 feet long. I don't know. Very strange, folks. Very strange. As far as the pricing goes on this, I am conflicted. $155 for the 1 person, $160 for the 2 person. That pricing does not make sense. If the 2-person version of this tent is going to cost $160, the 1-person version should be $120. As far as the size goes of this tent, on the inside, if you're a wider, broader individual, this tent is so narrow, I would not recommend it for you. Again, it's about 2 feet wide. And for even a 1-person tent, that's not all that large. You have to consider the fact that this tent is 2 feet wide, and then next to you, you have fabric panels. So what does that fabric do? It holds in heat. So you're going to feel your heat, your own body heat, coming back to you somewhat. When it comes to like designing a tent, that is not what I would have done. And I really wish Nature Hike didn't do this. As far as the door goes, it's massive. It's easy to get in and out of this tent. You can sit up, you can change clothes. As far as the quality of this tent goes, it is very good. I do not see any issues when it comes to loose threads. I do not see any issues when it comes to the stitching. All in all, this tent looks excellent. And folks, that's where we're at with this preview. This is a first look at the Canyon tent. And I have to say that I'm super impressed and also very disappointed all at the same time. I think the company should go back to the drawing board and change a few things here. Get rid of this fabric material on the inside. They need to have just 100% mesh. They need to add some guy line points up at the top. And they also need to make this tent just a little bit wider. The thing is, there's space on the inside here. They could do that. If they utilize the space on the other side of the tent, have it go out to a point just like the vestibule does, they can add a ton of space inside of this while increasing the weight very little. That is personally what I would do. That's what I recommend to the company. Those are my thoughts as of right now. My plan is to begin testing out this product and to put it through its paces. I'm going to find out whether or not this is a good product for 3-season use. Already we know it has some limitations, but let's see just how limiting those limitations are. I am a wordsmith. How many times did I say limitations in one sentence? whatever. Anyways, first things first, I'm going to do some rain testing with this tent to see how well it performs, to find out whether or not it is waterproof. My assumptions are this: the tent is going to be waterproof. The biggest question I have here are the hubs. Are the hubs going to leak? What has the company done to prevent leaking from those points? All of that being said, it's now your turn to sound off in the comment section. What do you all think about the Canyon tent? The 2-person version, I would say, doesn't make a whole lot of sense from a backpacking perspective. It's a 2-person tent that weighs around 7.5 pounds. That's a lot of weight for a 2-person tent. Also, with the 2-person version, they went with a polyester material that is heavier. So again, it all goes back to cost, right? They're cutting cost any way they can. And you can see what they've done here with this tent. Again, we have those fabric panels all over the inside of the tent. With the 2-person version, they went with polyester. What the company needs to focus on here is making a product that excels in the outdoors. And if they have to raise the price a little bit, they should. People will spend money on a good quality product, but that product has to keep them comfortable. Those are my thoughts of the 1-person Canyon tent and also the 2-person version. Sound off in the comments, share your thoughts as well. Before you go, hit the thumbs up, it does help the channel. Also, if you want to support a channel that's agenda free, I'm here to share real world information. That's it. I'm not selling products, none of that stuff. So if you want to support a channel that's agenda free, you could do so right here. You could join the Wolf Pack and the thousands of others who are supporting a channel that's like no other. Stay tuned, everyone. My waterproof testing results will be coming up very soon for this tent. Be well, take care, strength and honor.